Aw. Hello, hello. We are live. Let me look.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. Time to do Wednesday things. What do people normally get up on Wednesday? Well, they look back at Monday and Tuesday and they think to themselves, I've survived this far. All I have to do is defeat Thursday, and the Friday mini boss is always kind of, it's that boss, the pre, you run into that, like the boss that you beat right before the last boss.
Yeah.
But that boss ends up being like the hard one to beat, right? And you're like, what? Then you get to the final boss and you're like, that was easy. That's kind of where it is. Let me go ahead and get my little social media bits done. Let me get over to the Mastodons. What we got tonight? We got explicit syncs, we got AV1s, and of course, finally, a Raspberry Pi 5 case that I'm like, hey, that one doesn't suck, I'll take it. And hopefully it stays in stock. All right.
Hi, Arthur.
There we go.
Yay.
I gotta get this chat popped out. Chat's been kind of weird on Twitch.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Activity feed.
The bridge keeps dying or something.
There we go. Now that is together. All right. Playing with fire as always. Trying to get all the little bits of audio kind of set up where I want my monitoring to be. There we go. Now we got Twitch going. That looks good. Joe looks good. We got that. We got that punched in. Audio's good. Yeah, we're doing everything straight over IP audio and video tonight. So we're giving this 10 gig fiber switch quite the workout.
Yeah. No HDMI fiber noodles here.
There's no HDMI capturing. You're getting return video over the network, and I'm getting video back from you over the network. It's all digital. We've given up. Well, you can't really call HDMI analog, no, can you? Because it's not. But when we think about cables, we want to think analog, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta plug a thing in. Well, it's not over IP. Yeah, digital noodles, man. It's always dope. It's always fun.
Aw, Strider. Hello.
Oh, man. I wonder if Strider's even watching, or he's just like, I'm just going to post random stuff in the chat and see if I can get reaction. Oh, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, my Steve husband won't be here again because he had to take our kitty cat to the vet. So, poor kitty.
You just give the cat away, then you won't have that problem.
No. Our kitty's been lethargic lately, and we're worried that he ate something he shouldn't, or might have gotten in a fight. So we had to go take him to get checked out.
Got our Feedorf logo. All right, so we got about 8 minutes. We got to jump on it today, kids.
Okay, I will be right back.
Because I am fighting a bunch of stuff right now, trying to keep on top. Oh, look. Oh, poor Strider. Strider was adorable. Strider's like, can I get images from the... I sent him the XCF. So he could continue his little collection of... It wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. He wanted it pre-cut out for him. He couldn't be arsed to hit the F button in GIMP and click around something for 10 seconds. Wasn't having it. Tells you a lot about a person, doesn't it? Oh, boy. Yeah, I definitely got to get caught up. I got to strip a bunch of this stuff out. And a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, you could have done that with the YouTube thumb. That was a low-res JPEG. I mean, I thought you wanted the XCF because you wanted higher quality. Apparently, you wanted it for other reasons, so... Alright, you do you, buddy. Not my problem. What else is going on today, man? I have not looked at, things online. Anything exciting going on? Or just crazy? Any type of insanity? I hadn't seen anything. Oh, I don't want to pull up the news feed and go, oh no! Maybe I do. Maybe I shouldn't, though. Maybe I need to be willfully ignorant. I know some people like that. I'm like, don't tell me. I just want to cruise through life. You know, I kind of envy them, though. What else? I think I got all the stuff put together. Freezing crowd of AV1 transcoding in AMD with different folk. Oh. Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. I never had any stability problems doing AV1 encoding with that little art card. Yeah, I don't know if I'd try it with Vulkan. Vappy was well, I used QSV, but I used Vappy with OBS, and like I didn't have any problems with it. Like it just worked. I thought I was gonna have to pick some type of fight, but no. Yeah, we'll have to. Might definitely be revisiting it because like that's something I'd like to see. I mean, one of the, you know, what's the difference between AV1 on Intel, AMD, and Nvidia, right? What's that look like? Because apparently people want to know this stuff. I've just been asking the wrong people, like, hey, would this be of interest? Do you think maybe we should do some stuff like this? And they're like, I don't know, whatever. Apparently they do, because we got about 9,000 views in that video right now with almost 600 thumbs up and 74 comments. Couple of people have seen it. Well, not quite. 8,900 views. All right, I don't want anybody accuse me of fudging the numbers. We got about 400 new subscribers yesterday, and about 74 comments. You know, just kind of ballparking it. Yeah, a couple people looked at it. Maybe there is a market. But like maybe people are interested. Yeah, dude, that's the perpetual curse, man. Like, you know, being across the pond is like, that's completely understandable. Like, hyper frustrating is the Canadian North America border, because like Jordan and I could swap hardware so quick and so efficiently all the time, but it genuinely costs more for me to send something to Jordan than it would to just buy it after you pay shipping and he's got to pay duties on it. It's cheaper just to buy it new. It sucks. It drives me up the wall. I think what people are hungering for, Katana, is something even resembling benchmarks for Linux for video cards. And like, you're thinking about getting a new video game, anything, or just hungry for it. Doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a little A310. Like, oh, look, it's actually, hey, it's been tested with games that I've heard of, not Open Arena from 20 years ago. And I can look at that and kind of, like, that doesn't exist, man. Like, nobody's doing that. I thought maybe there might be a need for it. Because I know I would like a collection of things, when like different video cards, like how does it actually run under a modern Linux with these, benchmarks that I can run at home on my own hardware with whatever card I have right now and go, oh, okay, I see. That would be an improvement, or that wouldn't be an improvement. Where's that resource? Like, why is nobody doing that? Oh yeah, it's bad, dude. Like, that's it's very frustrating to have enough equipment in my spare room to like radically upgrade Jordan's setup. Can't get it to him. You just have to go out and buy it. Might as well just buy it. We learned that early on, dude. Just like shipping like an audio interface to Jordan. Like I was allegedly I was hiding stuff in the box so I didn't have to declare it. Allegedly. To get extra stuff. So he didn't have to pay extra money for it. It was frustrating, man. Drive it to the border. Yeah, we've talked about that, man. Like doing some clandestine like meetups in Detroit. They're like, hey man, psst, come here. Just sliding some stuff over. Yeah, carrier pigeons. Just throw it over. You just walk across. Canada's got a pretty chill border system. Right. There we go. That's locked. Do we need...
Sorry, I wasn't talking. My hubby was giving me an update on Kitty. Kitty is fine.
All right.
He had a small abscess that we didn't see. That's why he hasn't been feeling well. But
did they give him some anti-abscess cream?
Yes.
Right. Oh, and it's sold out again. Boo! We'll be talking about the sold out thing in a minute. That's what I get. That's what I get. The thing that's sold out wasn't sold out yesterday. And me and my infinite procrastination was like, well, I'll get it. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what it is. It's a PCI Express hole. I mean, I dare you to come up with a more accurate explanation. Right? And one of the things that was like very good, I'll talk about it in the show, is you guys know I don't moderate comments, man. And like, that's just raw comments. They're nothing but positive. People asking good questions. It's good stuff. Real happy to see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, all right. That's good. Got drinks. Got that. Let me do a little bio break, Jill, and we'll smash that record button.
Sounds good. Aw, Arthur, how are you doing? Did you have a good day at work? And also to Strider. Strider's been... I saw your comments in chat too, and your select.og file. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Gen X shenanigans. Oh, I am doing very good. I was really nervous. I've been really nervous like the last hour or so because of our kitty cat. But he's okay. It's a simple abscess, and they'll be able to just give him antibiotic, and he won't even have to have the cone of shame. So I'm happy about that. I've been worried about him because he's just been so sluggish this last week, but the last few days he's been really sluggish. I'm like, uh-oh, time to take Kitty in. He's such a good kitty. Yeah, he's really good, and he doesn't get into fights with other cats. It's only if they, are in his territory. And this kitty came and was trying to sleep where he sleeps in the backyard, and Frodo won't have anything to do with that, of course. So he made sure that kitty was gone, but he gets hurt in the process. But he's a big, beefy, strong cat. He's 14 pounds. He's just like a big muscle ball. But yeah, I was sick last week, so I am doing much better now. But yay, Arthur, I'm glad you're home and resting after Engine X shenanigans. That's got to be that's a lot of mind-numbing work. Oh, there's Katana. Hi, Katana. See you typing. Oh boy. Katana, are you done? Did you get through that? Are you done and can rest kind of the rest of the day, or you still got to work on it? So yeah, me and Ven were noticing that they keep changing the interface of YouTube has been changing around, and I noticed that the app on my TV now goes in. If you leave a video paused for a few minutes, it goes into a screensaver mode, and it asks you if you'd like to play a screensaver of everything from leaves falling from trees to rain falling, and that's a new development, but it's nice actually for TV. But I wouldn't want that for desktop.
Yeah, it looks like the app now.
Yeah, it looks like mobile.
It really does.
Yeah.
Show you guys.
Oh, another week of work. Okay, Katana. Good. I'm glad you just one more week.
This is what it's looking like on this end. And, traditionally at the bottom,
Yeah.
you get like your little, video description and comments. And like, nope.
Yeah. No.
So over here on the right, and
Yeah.
click more, and you get a little pop-up. And how do we get to the comments? We click the comments are just right here now. See, now instead of having, where you could read the comments, they're all crammed in the right side so they can show you more videos to tempt you into clicking on them.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Hey, we got a new gun. Dude, when I saw this video pop up, I was super excited. I want an AV1 low profile card. Then you talked about the lack of fan control. Deal breaker. Period. Sad. Period. Tragic.
Hi, R-E-X-E. E-X-E? Air. X-E.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Or there it is. I get A/B tested on hard on YouTube. But there's I don't know if that's been rolled out at all. Like, I never know with YouTube. Like, for all I know, you'll never see that interface. Because I went and logged in on my YouTube Premium account. It doesn't look like that. Not here. Yeah. Pray it doesn't. It looks like the mobile app, and I like my comments at the bottom. Traditionally, that's where the comment sections belong, right? Below the article. It's where I look for comments.
I know. That's weird. It's just, yeah. That's going to take a while for me to get used to as well.
Now, admittedly, I don't watch a lot of YouTube on the desktop.
Me neither. Yeah, I'm mostly on mobile.
I make YouTube when I'm on the desktop. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm in the production side, not the consumption. Gray Jay? What's a Gray Jay? Do I need to Google what Gray Jay is? Should I have safe search on when I do this?
Yeah, picture in picture. Me too, Arthur. And yeah, if I'm on desktop watching YouTube, that's what I'm doing too, because I'm usually doing other research and then just having the video play in the corner. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Lewis Rossman's Yeah, it's a cute bird too, huh, Strider?
All right. Yeah, if I'm watching anything on the desktop, that's why there's a tablet over here on a stand.
Mm-hmm.
I just reach over and I'm like, boop. I'll pop it up like that. Yeah, like outside of like just randomly going to YouTube, like we all get sucked into the YouTube rabbit hole. Like everybody is
yeah, easily.
Like you'll click on something, like you'll go to like whatever, then 20 minutes later. So yeah, like I will watch it in the browser, but pretty rare. I don't think if there's something I want to watch, I'll throw it up on the tablet or I'll just go watch it somewhere else. Like in here, I don't typically watch stuff. I listen to stuff though.
Yeah, well, YouTube is so good with discoverability. When you play a video and then you just scroll down and there's like tons of, oh, if you like this video, you'll like these. It's great for that.
You got to play the game. You got to see how many clicks it takes to get to a video of a frog eating a mouse.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, Strider has such a crush on Steve from Gamers Nexus.
He does.
He is not so secretly very enthralled and fascinated. Big fan. All right. I think we got everything together.
Yay!
We can get rolling. I'm not seeing any glitches.
Oh, thank you for the follow, EZZ. I like that name. That's awesome.
Easy E.
Yeah. Easy's.
Okay. We're good. Let's check our shots. Get a browser. Cool. I think we can rock and roll, everybody.
Yay! You need me to clap again?
When I hit the record button.
Okay.
Which I will do in just a moment. All right.
LibreOffice Calc. Screen reader.
Okay. There we go. Hey, record. Good. There we go. Yeah, Strider doesn't like numbers. They scare him. That's why he likes Python.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, let's get 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right,
Okay.
Go for it. All right, that should be awfully close, but we'll fine tune it.
Okay.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a weekly Daily Wednesdays episode 418.
Wow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, Daily Wednesdays, where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. And Vince Stone, joined every week by Joe Bryan, and we're just hanging out in the pre-show, talking about things. We're talking about Strider. You know Strider, he's that wacko behind Lotris. He's just talking about his favorite man crush, Steve from Gamers Nexus. The boy can't get enough of him. He's posting pictures in our Discord. He's like, oh, Steve.
Aww.
It's so sweet. It's adorable. I really enjoy it. Come on, Jill, what's going on with you? I saw that old Steve Husbando had another birthday celebration.
He did. It was
in all fairness, he typically only has one a year, though. I don't want to imply that he's, being greedy with the birthdays, having multiple ones.
No, it was a really wonderful birthday, especially since it was his first day off work in several weeks. So he had a nice, relaxing birthday with our family, and he got lots of cool gifts and lots of good food, and it was actually really wonderful just spending an evening with family. And I got him a big Barnes and Noble bookstore gift card, because that's one of his favorite places to go. And I got him some other little fun gifts in the shape of a black kitty cat. I got him actually, Ven, you'll like it. It's a cute little, it's a black kitty cat. It looks like our kitty cat Frodo, and it's one of those solar pets that its head and its tail wobbles back and forth. And he loved that. That was one of his favorites. It looks like it's got the
shakes when you put it out in the sun.
Yeah. And he took it to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to hang out with us last night. You're back with Trackmania. We do that on Tuesdays, where we get together and we do some retro tracking. If you're looking for that excuse, man, you're like, hey, I like playing old games. It's like 11, 12, 13-year-old game. We got a little server, a little Linux server that we got set up. Now you can run Windows. You can run IRIX. You can run HP-UX, however you want to come and join us. And we do that at 5 p.m. and we come back and we do it on Friday. We do little rounds. It's kind of fun. Oh, if you're looking for that excuse, come and join us. Oh, now, what have I been playing around with? Well, if you tuned in on Saturday,
something with a little sparkle, Ven.
What?
You've been playing around with something with a little sparkle.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that once I'm done with the
other thing. Yeah.
So I've been working on getting IP video going in and out through the studio. Yeah. That's something I talked about on Saturday, is getting everything switched back and forth, because I started playing around with, because I want to stay on top of the WebRTC integration into OBS and some of the stuff that's going to be coming in the future, that is going to really change the way you're able to stream between people. Let's say that you're streaming to Twitch, you're streaming to YouTube, you're streaming to TikTok because you're a broken individual, however you want to do it. And let's say you're doing multiplayer, right? Like we're playing, I don't know what was me and Jill would normally play together. Talos
Trackmania.
Principle or
Or
Trackmania or something like
Talos
that.
Principle, definitely, yeah.
And you're only seeing my screen. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I could get Jill stream. Like traditionally, that's a pain, man. Like trying to get somebody else's while you're streaming, like with this WebRTC and this web support that's coming in to be able to add sources would be as simple as like Jill opening up OBS and going boop, punching in my bits, and I could just pull it up as a source in OBS. It's going to change some things. Trying to stay on top of that. The moral of that story, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. I thought it would be interesting for trying to replace some of the stuff in the studio, because right now what I have set up is a quad 4K capture plus another capture card and a bunch of other capture cards on the 3 PCs. It's 13 HDMI cables to make all this work. I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just replace all that with one fiber cable, which I already have plugged into all the machines? I'm like, all right, let's try this, because we've already moved all the audio to IP. There's no audio cables running around the studio, and there's like 27 tracks of audio taking place at any given time. It's all switched digitally. It's great. Doing that with a video. So I decided to revisit NDI. And NDI from New Tech, which has been around for a long time. Last time I did a video about using NDI on Linux, New Tech's like, hey, let's put that on our blog. And a lot of people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
NDI 5 is out, and OBS NDI. That's what we're using right now. So Jill's coming in over just digital bits, not coming in through the capture, coming in over the network. This little guy, you see a guy over there, like blinking furiously? Like, what are you doing to me? That's a 10 gig fiber switch, slinging the bits around, and the video coming back to Jill is kind of going over the same way, same path, but it's getting turned into a virtual webcam, which is then tied into our Jitsi server, which Jill's getting, so Jill can see me like, hi, Jill, I can wave at you. Jill's like, hey, look, Ben's waving at me. And it hasn't exploded yet, so that's going to be really neat to be able to kind of reduce just that amount of insanity. Plus, it'll be good to do another guide for how do you get NDI up and working reliably on a modern system. Having a fun time with that. So if everything explodes, that's why. Lots of testing. Things to play with. Also, I think I figured out what I'm going to do with Threadbooper.
Oh.
I've been, like 2 years now, I've been eyeing, I'm patient. You'll see when I do a video for like interfacing Linux or something, like, I got a great deal on this. And you're like, how did you get a great deal on that? And it's because I waited 3 years. That's how you get great deals. And I've been thinking about switching over to, an Epic platform. But one of the reasons I'm like, okay, if I can reduce the need to have these capture cards and all this, I might be able to switch over to, like, consumer, regular AM5, because that'd be really neat. I'd save a lot of money. I don't want to do that just yet, because then I got to give up all these niceties that I've grown accustomed to, like having 3 NVMe drives all connected directly to the CPU and all of my SATA ports and my 2x16 slots and my 2x8. I don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
I don't. But what I'm going to do is we're going to upgrade Threadbooper, because I've been on the eBays. I've been looking around. Now, I got a first gen 1920X in there, which kind of does what it needs to do. It's just getting slow because that's first gen Ryzen. It's 2 6 cores that have been infinity fabric into one chip. Now, as far as I can go on this Threadripper is the completely unhinged 2990WX, which I think is a 64 core CPU. No, ain't no way in the world I'm getting that. That's a stupid CPU. It is. It's silly. It's beyond preposterous. Now, where do we go with that? Well, my dream CPU for the system has always been the 2970WX, which is a 24 core. But those things are still silly expensive, like $300-400. However, this got me looking. I can get the 2950X, which is the 16 core Gen 2 Ryzen, for about $200. So I think that's going to be our upgrade path right there. Just kind of give Threadbooper maybe another year of life. maybe
Oh,
2
there you
years.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
stretch
a
it
good
out.
idea.
Because we're going to need a little bit extra processing power for the NDI stuff, and it'll work out. So yeah, there we go. That's it for that. Now, we talked about that little blue card that showed up a couple of weeks ago. This guy, the Sparkle, the Sporkle, the scuffed Sporkle after I got done cleaning it, because it didn't survive the cleaning very well. You don't want to use IPA alcohol to remove the thermal lube from the case because it scuffs it really hard. That paint is on there, just not very good. So I have like a multi-colored version of this. This is the Sparkle Eco AV1. Why is this interesting? Because it's itsy bitsy. It's teeny tiny and it's powered by the PCI Express hole. You don't need to plug anything extra into it, which means that you can put it into a low profile little tiny thermal note box and not have to worry about extra power connectors. It's got HDMI on the back. It's got 2 mini display ports. And yeah, it's just the thing you need for HTPC, silent PC build. Nah, because if you're looking at that, that's what got me curious. It's a single slot, half height blower fan. Now, if you know anything about Quadros, single slot coolers, blower fans, you know it's going to be loud. It's extraordinarily loud. But if you're watching the video, you're like, why are you taking off the blower fan assembly? And because I wanted to change the bracket out. And you got to do that. For this
Lots of steps.
We were, there it is, being nice and scuffed. Ugh. But it does fit in the tiny, super small little thermal note box that I built for Rectangle. And of course, I wanted to do some testing with this, which I did. Nothing terribly crazy, but I went ahead and walked through, hey, what does it take to get Intel Arc running on a modern Linux distribution, this being Debian testing? And before you're like, Debian's old, I said Debian testing, which tracks it very close to whatever the current version of Arch is, because it's a rolling release as well. How do you get the open source up and running? Do you even want to bother with the binary drivers? What about monitoring utilities? Well, I found the one that exists. And of course, AV1 encoding, because, you know, if you have a Jellyfin server, or if you want to transcode, if you want to live stream with the AV1 to YouTube, maybe in the future with Twitch, what does that look like? Got everything up and running, what you need to do for AV1 on OBS. Tried to get it running with Blender. Wasn't having it. Did a bunch of stuff, played around, and said, nope. But what really surprised me was getting it up and running with DaVinci Resolve, kinda to the point where it launched, until I tried to exit the cut page to go into the edit page, and just DaVinci Resolve froze. Maybe in the future. But of course, we do have Handbrake, AV1 encoding test as well. And this is where it really gets obvious, though, because on a 5600G encoding AV1, AV1's the new hotness. It's like H.265, but it's free. It's open source. If I'm going to encode a little 5-minute clip using the 5600G, it takes about 16 minutes, which that's a long time for a 5-minute clip. Now, if we do it utilizing the AV1 encoder in that Sparkle, we can do it in about 3 minutes. Like, ooh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And even though the A310 is not a gaming card, so I really didn't bother. I should have went more in depth with this because I didn't think a bunch of people would be interested in the feedback that I've received over the past couple of months asking, well, here, are people interested in this stuff? I'm like, meh, maybe not. I didn't go into like 1% lows, or this is just, hey, does it run? Does it complete? We did superposition because how much faster is an A310 compared to the APU in the 5600G? About between 6 and 8% faster. So like superposition, 720p low, you're getting about 78 frames per second in superposition, while the 5600G is getting about 57. Like, it's not Talos principle. We all know that game, right? 720p high, the A310 144, 5600G 137. So better? Yes. A little bit, except for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was the weird one. The 5600G at 39 frames per second, while the A310 only managed 31. How much is this going to set you back, though? Well, $99, and that's where it's kind of interesting, because it's super cheap, and it's nice and small. You got open source drivers. And even if you overlook a couple of things, but there's a really big downside, Jill.
Uh-oh.
It's extraordinarily loud.
Loud, yeah. I kind of knew that. Yeah.
And you wouldn't have known that by what? I'm not going to name names. I'm going to tell you, Arthur knows what I'm talking about, because Arthur, and again, thank you for this, because we got valuable information. He picked that up off of our wish list.
Yes.
The video I initially posted that started this adventure and was from a YouTube creator that I think is reasonably well known. And I watched that video. I'm like, that looks fun. Pretty dope little card. Okay, I wonder how that's going to work, on Linux. Then we get the card. Then we find two things that bugged me pretty hard that were glossed over in this YouTuber's review of the Sparkle. One is that in order to change out the bracket, you have to remove the cooler.
And void the warranty, huh?
Air quotes, void the warranty sticker, right?
Yeah.
Which is not really enforceable. But how many times, like in my life, I think maybe 2 or 3 times I've had to remove the cooler from a GPU. That's not something most people ever have to do. Something's got to be wrong with the GPU before I'm even going to think about like popping that off and replace it, because then you got to deal with the thermal pads for the memory. It's not a good experience out of the box. That was never brought up in that video. And another thing was not addressed is the noise. And this thing's not, it's not just like, oh, well, you're being picky, you're being fussy. It's not, because some people are like, well, it's not completely silent. I can't live with this torture. No, this thing, you don't want to be in the same room with it.
Yeah. It's like a Blade server.
It's as loud. If you've ever heard a Quadro at full tilt, imagine that at a higher pitch.
Yeah.
Like you could not use this in a desktop CPU, desktop period, without earplugs. Like it is not something you can ignore. And even at idle, I wasn't even worried about that. I was like, well, I knew it's going to be really loud. I knew that because it's a single slot blower design, and it's a crap blower design that doesn't have any place for the air to go. It's all like self-contained. It's horrible cooler design, Sparkle. But at idle, when it's not doing anything, instead of just having the fan spin at a continuous, like 5 or 10% duty cycle, just to kind of keep things fine where you wouldn't hear it, they've decided out of the box, it stops and it waits for the heat to build up till it starts getting too warm. Then the fan engages and goes, then about 6 to 8 seconds later, and it never stops.
Just constant annoyance.
Never stops. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's not a Linux thing. I did my research. They've already written back and they're like, we'll do a firmware update to fix that. Our bad.
Yeah.
And why does this worry me? Because I can't, for those two things that I brought up, one, that you have to disassemble the actual card itself to change out the bracket. And more importantly, this is a low profile card that ships with a full-size bracket installed. So more than likely, you're buying this for a low profile HTPC or a 1U.
Yeah.
Put it in that. And you're going to have to do that. That's something you need to bring up. And the other thing is, like, it is too loud to use in a desktop PC. Like, not by a little bit, by like you just truly don't want to be in the same room. And that was also completely glossed over. And knowing those two pieces of information, I'm not sure that I would have been interested in, because I was like, well, this might be an interesting card to add.
Yeah.
An AV1 encoder to, a 30 series Nvidia or a 60 series AMD. But you can't use it like that. It's too loud.
Yeah, it would be nice, if another brand soon comes out with the single slot, low profile, and see how quiet it is compared.
I gave them a pro tip at the end of the video. I tried to help Sparkle out, and Jill, I said, here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Just get rid of the video outputs. Nobody wants the video outputs. The only reason somebody's buying an A310 is for that AV1 encoder. I hate to break it to you. That's it. If you bought one to play games, that's a personal problem. All right. Now, if they find a way to, even if they make it dual slot, go ahead and make it completely silent. Just put some metal on it. That's all you got to do. Make it 2-slot. It doesn't have to be by 16 anymore. Power requirements are going to be 5. Knock the price off, because this is something you want on the market. You're not wrong, Jill.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want something, you want an AV1 add-in card that you could just plug in and add to an existing system, or something that you can keep in the same room with you in the living room. If you want that for a Jellyfin server, there's your product. Yeah, as it stands right now, like if you want to put it in your server in your basement covered with Nicolas Cage pillows, then you're good to go, because that's really the only place that I'm not joking. Like, make sure they're Nicolas Cage pillows when you cover it up. But yeah, I'm very perplexed as to why that particular person on YouTube left out such critical stuff. Never ascribe malice but
yeah.
It was either just, it's too big a thing to say oversight. There's no oopsie there. I'm like, what was it? Because you got review samples from Sparkle and you don't want to upset them? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, that was kind of wild. That definitely worries me. But yeah, big thanks to Arthurian. And the video's done very well, surprisingly. I shouldn't say surprisingly, but a lot of work went into it. I got about 37 hours clocked into the, unboxing, testing, writing, production, post-production, article write-up. Head over to interfacinglinux.com. All the benchmarks, all the stuff's there. And yeah, I wasn't expecting, because we have Interfacing Linux has got its own YouTube thing now. It's, the side project of the side project. And I didn't expect this one to, the video I'm in pre-production on right now, which is that Focusrite Solo Gen 4, because you want to have a couple of YouTube videos kind of just like sitting there before you make one that you know is going to get some traction. Why? Because you want people to subscribe to your channel, and like you want to have other stuff sitting there for them to watch, not the one and done.
Yeah.
And I already had some stuff, that's why I was putting, like, Vin, why are you making videos about real-time kernel and CUDA compilation? One, it's a long burn video, people are Googling for that, but it's never going to be a high traction video, but it's a information dense, important video and a lot of those videos are just like low-key, slow burn ones. This one I expected, maybe 1,000 views on eventually, like the Noctua thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get about 1,000 views on. People just gonna pop in out of curiosity, and like it'll just slowly tick up over the years. And yeah, put this out. It popped off Monday evening, I think, and the YouTube algorithm looked at it for a second and was like, I'll have me a bit of that. So it just kind of shot up, and like we were looking at it before the show, like it went from like 300-400 views to like almost 10,000 right now.
Yeah, and 75 comments and almost 600 likes.
600 likes. And about 400 new subscribers. Now, this is what I want to focus on. I don't think I've ever seriously asked, outside of like Smash That Bell Fam, if you got a YouTube account and you want to do Old Man Vin a solid, one thing we got to do is we got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Because right now there's no monetization, nothing. I mean, there's still ads on these videos. Old Man Vin ain't getting none of that. We are genuinely lighting money on fire right now. But we want to send a signal to that glue stick munching algorithm that people are interested in this type of content. No nonsense, no BS. I'm still going to make jokes, people. It's me. But, imagine if we could take some of the technical know-how of Strider's waifu, Steve, from Gamers Nexus, and mix it in with some of the nonsensical derpery of Jill's waifu, Linus, from Tech Tips.
Yes.
And we could throw down something like that. That's kind of what I've been envisioning for the channel later on. But yeah, you can do me a huge solid. There will be a link in the description of this YouTube video, or head over to Interfacing Linux and just click subscribe. You can disable notifications. It's not going to hurt my fees. And if you can do that, the quicker we can get to 1,000 subscribers, that'll be great. That'll send a good signal to YouTube. And Yeah, there's no Patreon or like if you want to help out, you can join the Linux Gamecast Patreon because that math equation still works out. The less money I spend here, the more money I can spend there. And of course, there's a Amazon wish list for interfacing Linux, but it's just full of like video cards. Like I think the next thing I want to do is like build an AM5 test bench. I want to do this stuff like I want to do like AV1 compare. Like what is the difference? Real questions too I have. What's the difference between AV1 on like quality wise between AMD, Intel, and Nvidia?
Mm-hmm.
And gaming benchmarks. I know gaming benchmarks are silly, but that's a good indicator. Like when you look at something and you're like, hey, those are games I actually play. And I know how fast they run on my existing GPU. I could make those comparisons. I'd like to do something like that. Maybe in the future. Stay tuned. InterfacingLinux.com. .tom, yes. Don't go to .tom. I don't think that's a legitimate top-level domain. But if it is, let me know in the comments. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking out the video. And
yay.
We'll do some more. I didn't expect this video to pop off. Our Theron is responsible, illegally blind in chat. Everybody give
he sure is.
A round of feet for that.
Yay.
Kind of caught me off guard. Like I said, I thought a couple of people would watch the video, but this one's got an interesting, it still has a hockey stick trajectory according to the analytics. So we'll see where it's at next week. But it's good getting some new people looking at like, hey, Linux can do this other stuff. And I'm like, yes, it can. Absolutely. That's awesome. Let's get everybody together, get them informed, get them the right information, accurate stuff without the just static and nonsensical crap that has turned into what YouTube is these days, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Misinformation.
Just silly stuff. So if we can do a retro YouTube channel where we are just honest with you and tell you what things do and test them correctly. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, that's in the future. We're just going to see how it plays out. Rock and roll. Go check it out now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've been chilling for 30 minutes. Jill, talk about every Linux user's favorite GPU company.
Yeah, so this is something really exciting. Have you ever wondered why some Linux users have issues with Nvidia GPUs on Wayland and some don't? I mean, I never have, but I know so many people who have had issues. Well, there's actually a fix that was just recently merged in the Wayland protocol called explicit synchronization. And explicit synchronization is actually really nicely explained by Marius Nestor over at 9to5linux.com as explicit sync. It's a new protocol based on DRM synchronization objects where apps explicitly tell the user space graphics driver, kernel, or compositor when rendering is complete. Until now, when apps rendered things, they weren't rendered immediately. This method is called implicit sync and involves apps recording a list of commands with the OpenGL or Vulkan drivers for the graphics card to execute, which could lead to the issues some of you are experiencing with Nvidia and Wayland. I just thought that was a marvelous explanation. And, you know, one of the issues with implicit sync is that sometimes apps aren't aware which tasks it is synchronized to, and thus, you know, accidentally aligning to GPU commands having nothing to do with the task at hand. And these accidental synchronizations will no longer happen with explicit sync. And explicit sync will actually boost performance because it gets rid of the middleman between the drivers and apps and tells them directly instead of having to look at a list of commands and then their dependency tasks. So it's much more efficient. And this is really great news for NVIDIA GPU users on Wayland. And as the explicit sync protocol makes its way to Wayland compositors, it is actually a huge step to adopting Wayland on Linux, and the NVIDIA proprietary drivers can live in harmony with the open source AMD and Intel Mesa drivers on Wayland. And yeah, this is a seriously big deal because this has stopped a lot of people from migrating over to Wayland because of the issues with the NVIDIA drivers.
Wayland doesn't need any help to stop people from migrating to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people look at it and go, you guys have fun testing that. Let me know when it's done. Some people are going to be mad about that, but I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that was kind of the the straw on the camel's back, the big change that Wayland needed to work well with the NVIDIA drivers.
That's great. We're getting really close within sight to where Wayland is going to reach feature parity with X.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
That's great. There's still a smorgasbord of that doesn't work yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people will, we talked about this on Linux Gamecast. People are white knighting Wayland. I'm like, don't tell people stuff works when it don't.
Yeah.
If Wayland works for you and everything that you do, that's awesome. You keep using it. You're the ones we need out there using Wayland. Report those bugs.
Yeah, there's still a bit of bugs. I'm right now been 24/7 on Wayland, and it has been fine for me for the apps that I've needed to use, but there are issues with doing screen capturing and some video apps not working, but things are getting fixed.
Get out there and test in production. I look forward to whatever replaces X. It might be Wayland.
Yeah, it might not.
Might not.
Maybe it'll be Mir, Then we'll go back to Mir.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I will constantly champion, forward progression, but again, I'm not going to tell some is perfect, but NVIDIA is no longer the excuse, kids.
Yeah.
That was NVIDIA has been holding up Wayland development all this time. NVIDIA's all right,
no,
we got that taken care of. What? Who knows? I have fun with it. Use it.
Yeah.
I don't have a use case for it just yet, but maybe one day. I remember when you brought up Mir. I went through a lot of trouble to get Mir up and running, and I played around with it. Dude, it was an afternoon of getting that dependency chain built together, and I got it. And I played with it for 3 minutes. I'm like, nope. But yeah, this is good to see. And it was fun listening to you trying not to mix up because your brain wants to desperately confuse implicit and explicit.
Explicit, yeah. I was very careful.
That's a struggle.
Yeah.
Your brain's that's the same word, man. Just whatever. Oh, right. All right. We got another little thing in here.
Yeah, we do.
Endeavor OS on an ARM? Why would you want to run an operating system on your ARM, Joe Bryant? That seems silly.
Our Arch one's really nice, actually, on the Raspberry Pi. So this is really sad news in the Linux community. The ARM version of Arch-based Endeavor OS is no longer going to be developed for the ARM platform. And this is due to not having enough people to maintain it and enough time to keep it up to date with the x86-64 version. So this was, I put this in our show notes because this is a call out. If you're a developer interested in keeping the Endeavor OS ARM project going, contact the Endeavor OS team and the Endeavor OS ARM GitHub page and sign up to that. Because I'm just really sad to see this go. In fact, Endeavor OS was one of the first distros that I installed on my Raspberry Pi 4 and my newly acquired over 6 months ago Raspberry Pi 5. So, and it runs really, really sweet on the Raspberry Pi because it's so memory efficient and just very slick. So I was just really sad about this because, in fact, that's where I've been mostly using Endeavor OS is on my Raspberry Pi. So that was just sad news. And
you don't have to worry. It's still got the GitHub page. So if somebody wants to come in and play around with it, I think a lot of people, they've realized that Debian is the superior operating distribution. So, or Raspbian.
But it is nice to have the rolling release cadence on the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, that's what I want on my Raspberry Pi. I wanted to break after an update. That sounds dope.
Oh. And once again, I want to thank Arthur. He goes by Illegally Blind right now in chat. He's our patron advisor that we've been talking about. The one who gave Ven the little Intel Arc Sparkle.
Now let's talk about ARM again, because one thing I've talked about with me, not been terribly impressed with the Raspberry Pi 5. I think it's a good piece of kit. I think it's reasonable value for the price, but I wasn't blown away by it. And one of the things that has prevented me from picking it up is a good case. How long has that Raspberry Pi been out now?
Now it's been, over 6 months. Yeah.
Somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I have that Argon case. I've been asked a couple of times about it, like videos that have featured Raspberry Pi stuff, which is a good case, which is the Argon 1, which has the SSD holder in the bottom. It's nice, self-contained. I was like, I need something like that for the Raspberry Pi 5, because the Raspberry Pi 5 has an NVMe slot on it. Kinda. Connector. Ribbon. Why did you use a ribbon? Anyway, I wanted that same thing built into a case. I wanted an NVMe drive, and I want a nice little top, and you got to have the active cooling on it. Stick all together. So what does that require to do? What do you got to do? You got to get a big chunky case. Then you got to get the NVMe hat and see if that fits in the case with a control cooler and all that. Like horrible, horrible experience. And I'm like, I don't want to mess with all that. They just made one. Yeah. All right. Yay. I'm happy now. Introducing the Argon Neo 5 M.2. The Argon Neo 5 exists, but now they have the M.2 NVMe PCI Express case for your Raspberry Pi 5 at $38. And it is sold out. And it's been sold out, except for yesterday when I was muddling. I'm like, maybe I should get it. And it wasn't sold out. Now it's sold out again. It comes with the case, heatsink, clever design. And in the bottom, you can route the that silly little PCI Express cable around and under it and put your NVMe drive. And they got a nice little list of drive types. A couple of them, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're really, so far, there's been a lot of NVMe drives that have been tested, including by Western Digital. Actually, the SN850, which I own, the SN740, the 570 and 530, and the Samsung 980 Pro and 980, and various models from Sabrant and AData, Crucial, Kingston, and Lexar, and of course many other NVMe drives should work, but just have not been tested yet. But I think probably most of them will work just fine. Fit in there.
Come on, this thing looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah,
looks pro.
Yeah, it really does. And it looks like there's a little wiggle room for those drives that are maybe a little thicker, a little longer.
Yeah. I mean, and instead of putting that hat on the top, this is taking that silly little ribbon cable and routing it under the bottom. And, it's a foot. Yeah. Don't call it a hat, call it a foot.
Yeah, this is true.
And it sits under it. Really the only, I don't know, the one thing... It's got all the slots on the back, like my Argon 1, which I like it. Puts everything on the back. You got the 2 USB 2, 2 USB 3, then you get the Ethernoodle sitting back there, which is good. The only thing I don't like, and I understand why they had to do it, but I would have preferred even taller case if it meant that I could have all the power and display output on the back as well.
Yeah.
Instead of having that hanging out of the side of the case. If I was like, no, again, I'm not going to have a display ever plugged into it. But if I did, I would because that's one thing about the Argon 1 I have for Raspberry Pi 4 that's running the Jitsi server right now, is it put everything on the back.
Yeah, very
Which
nice.
is good. I don't have to worry about it. I can just have it taped down to the rack and just plug everything in the back. I don't have to worry about routing cables from the side, which doesn't sound like a big deal until it is. Then it can get on your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, reasonably priced too. When I saw this, I'm like, geez, that thing's probably going to be
$38.
Yeah, I was ready to $60. I'm like, yeah, I don't get any ideas, Argon 1, because if you make $60, then I won't buy it out of anger. But yeah, 38. I think it was originally like 30. I think it was $36 last night. Maybe
Oh, okay. The
get it before.
popularity.
Yeah. It has been there's what's his name? The computer guy on YouTube explaining computers.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah. Explaining computers.
He
Yeah.
did a review of this little guy and stuck it together, which is where I heard about it. So go check out his YouTube channel and watch that video. And yeah, good. Love to see it. Okay, 39 minutes.
Yay!
You know what?
We did good.
We did all right considering.
We had
Before
a
we
lot of
get out of here.
exciting news to talk about then.
Right? We did. Speaking of exciting, though, I got to think a new member of our motley crew,
Yay!
the Linux Gamecast family, the audience, the not a cult. One Casyclism has decided to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast, making this show possible. We keep rocking and rolling with this, and we don't have weird ads, and we're not trying to sell you mattresses. This is completely creator funded with your support. Now, Casey's been around for a long time. Like, I know that name.
Yeah.
Casey synced
Yeah,
up,
I remember
hopped
him.
into our Discord. Casey's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm like, hey, all right, hey. It's always
Yeah.
good to see new people when they come in because you get the big welcome parade. And everyone jumps on you, and like, except for we're like, fresh meat, which is good too because you kind of sets it up. We have a very, very good Discord server that is just all over the place. It's great, filled with smart people. You got Linux questions, they got Linux answers, and I'm in there too. Jordan's in there, Jill's in there, Pedro's in there. We don't just have it to the side and like occasionally visit. No, we're in there chatting, getting stuff done 7 days a week. I want to thank you very much, Casyclism, for becoming our latest patron. And if you'd like to do that, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast, best way to support the show. But you can also subscribe on Twitch if you want to come hang out in our super secret Discord where we're at the other 6 days of the week. But if you do join us on Patreon, become a I don't like that it's Patreon and patron or patron.
Yeah, I know.
My brain wants to be like my patron. Got a bunch of bonus stuff, even at that $1 a week level. You get access, like I said, to our Discord. More importantly, you get the live and uncut versions of these shows. You can't make the live show and you want this, you've been listening, maybe you're listening on YouTube, you're listening to the MP3, and you're like, I edit this down where I try to keep it like right at 30 minutes. Usually takes us about an hour and a half during the live show to make it. So if you want all that in MP3 format where you can just pop in your podcast, you get a custom RSS feed for your podcatcher, or you want the live video feed and just record it, watch it on YouTube. It's there. We give you a link to that as well, and a bunch of other stuff too. All right, commercial free, downloadable version of all of our shows where you can just get it, no ads, higher quality than you're going to get on YouTube because I can just upload it and you can just download it or you can just stream it. However you want to do, just as a thank you. On top of that, we're going to put you in the credits. So if you're listening, pretend your name is in the credits rolling by in just a minute. Yeah, thanks for letting us do this. This is always fun, and we get to do more stuff. And like I said, I could be on the cusp of a whole new adventure.
Yes, you can. And you
Linux.
are.
Who knows? Let's see if we can drive old man Vin insane and into an early grave. Let's go. And do come check out Linux Gamecast in the after shows. And I just put that video up on our Uncut channel, which is linked in the video description. We decided that we've been going through, sometimes it takes us a year to get through something, but we were doing Quake 2 co-op.
Yes, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, and with friendly fire on, so we're just constantly accidentally killing each other. Then, of course, we get bored with that. So what do? We start playing the last 2 episodes using our Steam controllers.
Steam controller, yeah.
Oh, imagine the chaos that is trying to use a Steam controller in Quake 2 co-op with friendly fire on hard. It's not pretty. That video is up over on linuxgamecast.com. Go check it out. And thanks everybody for subscribing to Interfacing Linux. That was dope. Cool.
Yay.
Okay, can we do some credits? Yeah.
Thank you, and Linux love to you all. Yay, we have our advisors, Omegas and Artherin, and thanks again, Artherin, for all you have done. Our executive producers, Barbrandt, Scott M., our Chicago Kicks people, Empty, Blasphemia, King Bonge, and our Sea Monsters, Hakeem, David, Darkwing, System T, Mark, DSNG, Joe, Dirty Dean, our Death Notes, Back, Dodger, Rue, Turnover, our Chairlings. Oh my gosh, so many, I can't name them all that quickly. I only got through a very few.
You know what I can do next week? I'm going to render that out at not 0.3 speed, so it takes about 4 minutes.
Oh, that would be cool. Let's see if we can do that.
If you get a chance, Jordan's going to be back tomorrow, live stream, twitch.tv/Linux Gamecast. No idea. I might be joining him because we were threatening to do something together on Thursdays. We're going to see how that plays out. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Love you all.
Oh, yeah, I forgot my winter is coming shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yay.
Right.
Yeah, Katana, very varied crew. Yes, we do.
Very cool.
Got a motley crew.
Got good people in there talking about good stuff.
Yeah, we sure do. We have an amazing Discord group.
I didn't know.
People
I
from
wouldn't
all
call them
backgrounds.
amazing.
All backgrounds and
Don't give them an ego.
all different, experiences with Linux, and all had different Linux journeys. It makes it so much fun.
We occasionally talk about Linux.
Yeah.
That might be like, I don't want anybody joining in and be like, hey, I Linuxed all the Linux. Did you guys do the Linux? Like, maybe like 8% of the conversation's about Linux. The other stuff is about just name it. Just fair warning. I don't want anybody jumping in thinking like, because, we're all over the place. Winter is coming? Yeah, it is. I'm glad you agree with me. Somebody who didn't know you as well as I knew would think that you were being facetious, but I know you're being dead serious. You truly believe that this is an appropriate time to wear a t-shirt from a TV show that hasn't been on air in 6 years.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, nailed it. I mean, couldn't be more concise and accurate.
Especially since they probably filmed it in spring or summer, right?
I was reading yesterday that Jon Snow, they were going to do a spin-off series with him, and apparently that got shelved. Yesterday was the news that they were, because, when Game of Thrones was first on, it was something ridiculous, dude. They were like 6 show ideas in pre-production.
Oh, yeah.
And the only one that has made it out, which doesn't mean anything. That just means that like somebody was hired to like storyboard, maybe write a first draft of a, pilot. But we did get a House of the Dragon, which is pretty good because it's got Doctor Who in it.
Yes.
My favorite Doctor.
Yeah.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith is awesome.
No rhyme or reason. Like, I don't have any like personal affinity towards Matt Smith, but I really liked his Doctor for some reason. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he is one of my favorites.
Which was tough because I thought David Tennant was the best Doctor.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Capaldi was all right. Wasn't my favorite. Jody got wrecked with what's his name writing. Like, then we got the new guy, which I don't know. We're still waiting.
Yeah, we're still waiting to find out.
Yeah,
I want to love the new guy.
I want to love that because I want to be entertained by Doctor Who again.
Exactly. We want our Doctor Who.
I fell off Doctor Who. The only reason I finished watching Capaldi was because we were doing Game of Who. We were doing a podcast about it. Like, if I wasn't doing that podcast, it's like that last series of Capaldi I wouldn't have watched. I don't think I would. And we watched, I would have watched the beginning of Jody's, like anybody, right? You got to watch, like, the first series. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I just want entertaining
I know.
stuff.
I was just so happy to have the Dr. Donna back and that whole story,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Earn bonus commission. Amazon influencer. Oh my God, go away. What else we got? There's a new version of Pipeline out. Bug fix. For a Trackmania server.
Hmm.
We have that. All right, everything else looks pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't watched Constellation yet. Yeah.
I don't
Have
know
you
what
been
that
watching? Oh, okay. Yeah, I put it in my watch list, but I don't know a lot about it.
Is your watch list as bad as your wish list?
Yeah. Yeah, I have hundreds of shows in my watch list that I haven't gotten around to.
What did I hit the go button on? Something. Usually I guess here's proof that it does work. Netflix, if Netflix has an original series, it'll get belligerent. Like, I'll get tired of looking at it when I open up the app. Okay, fine. Here, if I click on it and say I don't like it, but I forget what it was. It wasn't that great, apparently, like week or before. I watched something. I like the new X-Men. I watched the first 2 episodes, X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was all right.
The first one.
Because I was unfamiliar with, like, I don't know a lot about X-Men, really. Like, what I know about X-Men was watching that cartoon back in the 90s in the movies. That's about it. So I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on at the end of that first episode, which made me watch the second one. I might go back and check that out eventually. And
nice.
Yeah, outside of that, it's like a drought, man. Not that I got a bunch of time to watch stuff lately.
I know. I've just been mostly watching YouTube. It's like, I mean, all my, all the people I follow on YouTube, it's mostly, that's 24/7 and what I watch lately. But I still like to go in and watch the Doctor Who occasionally, and of course Star Trek. And
yeah, didn't Strange New Worlds come out? New series of that's what I meant to watch. The
okay.
Not that. Yeah. Discovery. The final series of Discovery. They are apparently going to go back and address the progenitors.
Yes.
From TNG episode 1, you might remember. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see how they mess around with that Pandora's box. X-Men Evolution. I don't even know what X-Men Evolution is, so you don't have to worry about it, Doc. No worries whatsoever. I'll easily skip over it. You know what I didn't mind was, what was it? X-Men First Class. That was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I'm excited for the new Beetlejuice movie. I'm going to be in a theater for that one. I haven't gone to the theater in a while, and that would be worth the trip.
Yeah, Beetlegeist. I watched the trailer for the Joker movie, the one with Lady Gaga. That's Harley Quinn. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of, like, who was it? Phoenix, the Joker, and like I kind of skipped through it, and I didn't really get hooked. I'm not huge into DC, but then again, I'm not huge into Marvel anymore either. I kind of fell off Marvel. Like, I begrudgingly watched that last Avengers movie, and I'm like, whatever.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the last one yet.
And all the new Marvel stuff, I'm like, yeah, like She-Hulk was good for a couple episodes, but Loki was all right. But I think that was more because, like, it's hard to make a show that's bad with Owen Wilson and what's his name, the Loki character. Like, I don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Secret Invasion. Like, I don't know how you managed to make a boring television series with Samuel L. Jackson in it, but they did. I don't know how they pulled that off. Like, that's almost impressive.
Oh, season 2 of Loki. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Loki was good. Like, I didn't have a problem with Loki, man. Like, I dug it. But, and then they got all the Star Wars stuff. Like, I'm still mad about, like, the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
Like, that was dumb. That was a waste of my time.
I know, yeah.
Ahsoka, I liked.
Me too. I like that one too.
But, I mean, a lot of that's just because, I got a crush on Rosario Dawson. But that still manages. They need to figure out, like, the plot, pacing of that, because we were talking about it on Linux Gamecast and the pre-super shows. And, like, the first 4 episodes of that show, they walked into a ship and they walked outside of the ship. That was it. That's what happened in the first 4 episodes. Like, they need to tighten that up a little bit.
Okay.
I've heard Andor. Yeah, Andor. I've heard people say it was good. It just didn't look like my type of show. Could be wrong though.
Yeah, I did enjoy the first Andor episode, and the second one was pretty good, but I haven't seen after that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I remember being. I remember it's a very different story from the other Star Wars stories. I remember it starting out very. Oh, this is going there. Okay.
I think Andor is more about like political machinations going on.
Yeah.
All I want from Star Wars is some force magic and somebody to spark up a lightsaber. That's all I'm looking for. Like,
yeah.
Like, let's do that. Let's get Yoda doing some flips. I don't care, man. Like,
I just want the campy 1970s humor too. That's what I like. But I do love The Mandalorian, although, of course, their last season, their budget was greatly reduced. It was pandemic and everything.
That first series of...
it was excellent.
It was all right. It was good. Then they tried to make the Boba Fett spin-off.
Oh, yeah, there's that, too.
Which just perplexed me. I'm like, why are you doing a series of... I know Boba Fett has always been like a fan favorite, but like outside of like the books and the extended universe type stuff, like the average person doesn't like,
doesn't know.
Like,
yeah.
What? Yeah, same. Like, I watched a little bit of that first episode and I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I've no hatred or anything on the characters. Like, I just don't care about the character. It's a very one-dimensional bounty hunter, and like, oh, you're trying to turn him into a mobster. Okay, got it. Yeah, I watched The Sopranos. I remember that. Which isn't true. I didn't watch The Sopranos, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, I gotta go transmogrify this. I need to check in. Did I get that shipped here? Or did I get that shipped to the rental? I got Amazon packages coming in. Hopefully they'll be here for the end of the week. Then we can start doing the Focusrite Gen 4, which is kind of interesting because Focusrite got in touch with the guy who was working on the Scarlett mixer, and like they helped him out. We can do firmware updates to an audio interface from Linux. Very convoluted the way you got to do it, but you can. Oh, and it's got a nice little mixer and GUI and stuff, so that's going to be interesting to see that how that one shakes down. Cool, everybody. 4:25. Have a great rest of your middle of the week on Wednesday, wherever it may be, or if you're listening to this at a later time, which is not 4:25 on the Wednesday. How you doing? Hope the rest of whatever day it is you're listening, for those of you 37 years into the future, hi from the past. That just creeped you out, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I hope I'm alive.
We're all dead
I don't
now. All right. Bye, Twitch.
Bye, everyone. Love you all. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, Katana, firmware has been 100% miss. Every time I pull up firmware, woofed PD, it gives me a list of all the stuff in my system that it can't update the firmware to. Not a thing.